Taiwan is a small island sitting on a fault line of global power. What happens here could decide the future of the world. The question isn't whether China wants Taiwan. The question is whether the United States can stop it. For Beijing, Taiwan represents unfinished history. Reunification is framed not as a choice but as destiny. For Washington, Taiwan is a strategic red line. If it falls, US influence across Asia weakens overnight, allies lose confidence, and rivals push harder. That's why Taiwan is not just a regional issue, it is a global test of power. If war breaks out, it won't start with diplomacy failing, it will start with shock. The opening phase would be sudden and overwhelming. China would likely attempt to paralyze Taiwan before the world can react. Missiles striking air bases, ports, radar sites, and power infrastructure. Cyber attacks would flood networks, spreading confusion and fear. The goal would be speed, disable Taiwan before help arrives. But help would come fast. The United States would face an immediate decision, intervene decisively or risk losing Taiwan before the war truly begins. US forces across the Pacific would mobilize, aircraft carriers would move, submarines would deploy silently, bases in Japan and Guam would shift into wartime posture and become targets themselves. This is where the conflict escalates from regional to historic. The first 72 hours would be brutal. The skies over Taiwan Strait would turn into one of the most contested airspaces in modern warfare. Fighter jets, drones, and missiles would clash at a scale unseen in decades. Beneath the waves, submarines would hunt warships, turning supply routes into deadly corridors. Taiwan's survival would depend on one thing: holding out. Amphibious invasions are among the hardest military operations ever attempted. Chinese forces would have to cross open water under fire, land on hostile shores, and push inland while being attacked from every direction. If Taiwan holds its beaches and airfields, the invasion could stall. If it fails, the situation becomes far more dangerous. But even if China breaks through, victory would not come easily. Urban warfare would follow. Resistance would be fierce, supply lines would be strained, losses would mount rapidly, and all the while the United States and its allies would increase pressure, tightening the net at sea, striking key assets and raising the cost of every mile gained. This is not a war anyone wins quickly, and the damage wouldn't stay confined to the battlefield. Taiwan is the heart of the global technology supply chain. A major conflict would send shockwaves through the world economy. Factories would slow, markets would crash, energy prices would surge. From smartphones to cars to advanced weapons, shortages would ripple across continents. Allies would be pulled in. Japan would be directly involved. Australia would support US operations. European nations might not send troops, but intelligence, cyber capabilities, and logistics would flow in. What began as a regional fight would start to resemble a global confrontation. But above all of this hangs a terrifying restraint: nuclear weapons. Both China and the United States know that crossing certain lines could trigger irreversible consequences. That reality shapes every decision, limiting strikes, choosing targets carefully, and avoiding actions that could spiral out of control. The result would be a war that is intense, destructive, and tightly controlled. A conflict where every move is calculated, but every mistake is catastrophic. Military experts agree on one thing: China cannot take Taiwan easily. The United States cannot defend Taiwan without severe losses, and even the side that wins would emerge weakened. This is why the war remains hypothetical. Every military exercise, every naval patrol, every political statement is part of a pressure game. Pushing limits without breaking them, both sides prepare relentlessly, hoping the other side would back down first. Because Taiwan is more than territory, it is credibility, influence, the balance of power in the 21st century.